Hey, it's Cathi Coridan, KW Metro Center. I'm a licensed realtor in Virginia and DC. I am also a senior real estate specialist and a certified professional coach. In all of my roles, I am here as your transition partner. My mission is helping people make life's transitions big and small, less stressful and more successful. And this is another in my kitchen table conversations. And this is my kitchen table. With COVID, it makes it a little more complicated for me to get to your kitchen table, where I would be loving to be sitting and talking to you about all the factors and issues and stories involved in making a decision about, should I stay or should I go? So this particular video is for us seniors over 60, sometimes over 55, that are trying to make the decision about whether to downsize and move to someplace smaller, less square footage, on one floor, nearer to the kids, without the yard, whatever those dynamics are. Also to provide resources for the adult children, for the accountants and financial planners and attorneys and others that work in your sphere, in your own sphere, for the seniors in helping to make and support that decision. Because making that decision is only one step, and then you got to do it, and that's a whole different story. Today, I want to focus on the value of the assets and how that's determined so that you don't take either myths or misconceptions and use those ideas to make decisions that have long-ranging implications. One of my fundamental operating principles is I want folks to know what they need to know before they need to know it. A lot of decisions for selling homes for seniors are done in the wake of a crisis. Someone fell and broke their hip, cannot live on 2 floors anymore. There's not adequate resources in the home. It's not close enough to family and friends. And so a lot of hurried decisions are made. And this series of conversations is to help understand the specifics of making the decisions and then the specifics of implementing it. So the value of your assets. Here I'm going to be looking at the value of the home and then the value of all that stuff that's in it, because sometimes it's not knowing how to or what to do with that stuff that can get in the way, just as much as not wanting to let go of the family home. Now, the value of the house and the property that you live in is extremely local. The value of property, I'm in the DC metro area, closer into the city and in some of the suburbs inside the Beltway, is much more dollars per square foot than when you get out into the farther suburbs and then into the rural areas of this metropolitan area. So there's no one rule of thumb. However, there are some guidelines that you can use, because I think sometimes I hear people that live in those near suburbs saying, my house is worth $1 million because they just knocked it down and built a $2 million house down the street. And those assumptions can get us into trouble. The house, its location and condition, and both of those pieces together are important. I understand location, 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 and yes, there are some very preferred locations in any metropolitan or any community. It's not the only determining factor. When I come in to do a competitive market analysis, I look at the location, and by that, I look at the other properties that have sold that are as much like your property as possible, split level, 2-story, split foyer, how large the lot is, what the lot backs up to, as many of specifics as I can get that match your house to the ones I'm looking at. I also look at what the updates and the condition of the systems are in the house. So it isn't just that it's a 2-story colonial and it sits on a half-acre lot. It's what is the age of the roof? What is the age of the HVAC system? What is the condition of the foundation? What kind of updates have been done to add value? Are the windows new? what are some things that make it appealing and for a buyer relieve a lot of challenges that would come, expensive challenges that would come down the road. The second piece is that I look at what improvements have been made. Bathrooms and kitchens sell houses. So are the countertops solid surface? Are the floors old linoleum that, you know, you pick them up and there might be that word underneath? Or is it been updated and something that someone's going to be able to live with for 5 or 10 or 15 years without having to update again? Because when a buyer's looking at a property, they are looking at what their not just current investment is, but what the future holds for them. So in making that decision, I'm looking at the age of the HVAC system. I'm looking at the age of the kitchen and putting all those pieces together and then comparing a comparable your home to the ones that have sold recently. And only then can I determine what today's, or maybe the next 3 months, value of your house would be on the market. The market determines the market price. And I can provide information, I can interpret the market based on a lot of those factors. And so really understanding what the value of your home is in today's market, clearly understanding it with all of the pieces taken into consideration, is one of the first and most valuable pieces of information you can have. So that's the house. Second, the stuff. Those of us over a certain age really like to collect stuff. I have Yardrow, I have Waterford, I have Hummels, I have a lot of beautiful brown furniture that you can't see, but it's just on either side of the computer screen. And when I acquired those, I have a set of china, I have silverware, I have serving platters, things that I have that have come from the family from generations past and that I have always believed had a lot of value. They no longer have the value that they had. And I would guess and probably win a bet that the things in your house that you think have a lot of value on the sale market, whether it would be auction, eBay, or estate sale, yard sale, really do not have the kind of value that they have. And in fact, they create in some ways an impediment towards your being able to be free to make decisions. And so my second recommendation is to, the same way you would call me to find out what the market value of your house is, that you begin to do some research. And that research can be on eBay. It can be on any of the local, wherever you are, auction house sites, because everything's online now. And I have looked up, because I have clients who have moved into assisted living and their items have gone to auction. So I follow the auctions because I look for their things as they come up. And most of the items are pennies on the dollar. And so as you look at what to keep and what to let go of, to think about alternative ways to let go of it and to first find the value of it. And I think that's important to understand. And the second piece is, rather than the auction house, are there people for whom there's an emotional attachment, that it would be a beautiful gift to have while you can both enjoy that gift making and to move some of the stuff that gets in your way, whether it's books, whether it's collectibles. Beanie Babies really do not have any value, and neither do Precious Moments figurines. These things were things that we bought when we thought they were collectibles. They are now glutting the market, as is brown furniture, Waterford, and all of my beautiful china. So I want you to know the value of your house and know the value of your stuff. And then sit down and take a good hard look at what it is you want to do. I would offer to have a one-time complimentary coaching session with you to sit down and think through what are the pros and what are the cons, and knowing what the market value is of your house, knowing how much stuff you have and what its real value is, what are the things that you want to make the key determining factors in making such a big decision, such as, should I stay or should I go? And for the family members and accountants and financial planners and attorneys and others that are in the hearing range of me and thinking of the seniors that they know and support, anything you can do to help make that process more manageable and make it more clearly understood around values helps all of us make better decisions and makes these transitions happen. They're hard transitions, they're stressful transitions, but happen with less stress and more success. So thank you very much for listening. If you're interested in a complimentary coaching consult, I'd be happy to do that. My email address is ccatkw, Cathi Coridan at Keller Williams, ccatkw@gmail.com. And I'd be happy to get with you on Zoom. I'll also come into your house fully masked, and we can sit 6 feet apart and have this conversation. My goal is to provide support and as much really important and helpful information as possible. I hope this has helped, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Be well.